a person tends
Oi! Sorry, he's biting me.
In shadows we lurk, in shadows we play. This is Night Shift.
Want to be fashionable, and to be fashionable is to be androgynous. And I am androgynous not less than David Bowie himself. And they call me beautiful. And I kill with my gun. Isn't it fashionable?
So welcome to another Night Shift Goth TV. That was a little bit of my work there. As Jandor Band, I'll be playing the festival that this is basically advertising on the 20th and 21st of June. And yeah, we're coming up, we'll have a bit of a chat with Lawrence Mahmood of Papashangos, and he'll be playing as Tommy Biscuits on the Sunday. So we'll get on and have a little bit of him now.
Let's go for coffee at 2:30. Let's hang around and have a drink. Let's stay out late, I'll make it worth it. Well, come on, babe, I'm on the brink. As you said, at 9 o'clock we'll toast the night. At 10 o'clock we'll start a fight. 11 o'clock the moon is shining bright. And at midnight I will take your soul. Take your soul, take your soul. Open up and swallow whole. Drag you screaming down to hell. This thing is going really well. Take your soul. She said, let's take the last bus to the city. Let's take us to the kind of bar. Let's drink too much and act real shitty. And celebrate and steal a car. And she said, at 9 o'clock we'll toast the night. At 10 o'clock we'll start a fight. 11 o'clock the moon is shining bright. And at midnight I will take your soul. Take your soul, take your soul. Don't put it up and swallow whole. Drag you screaming down to hell. This train is going really well. Take your soul, take your soul. Check by dawn if you can't tell. Midnight, when I can't fly. Wow. Take your soul, don't put it up and swallow whole. Drag you screaming out your hell. The night is going really well. Take your soul, take your soul. Get by dawn if you can tell. Midnight when I can. Thanks so much. Okay. Next up will be.
So welcome, Lawrence, Tommy Biscuits and the Papashangos of international, I'm sure, superstardom. You know, sort of rebellion, festival player and all manner of things. And you're kindly providing the PA for the event we've got going off on the 20th and 21st of June. So thank you for that. But yeah, I mean, you're someone who sort of tends to be primarily engaged in punk gigs, but I supposedly, in sort of principle anyway, I'm doing a goth festival. So how come you're involved in goth then on this occasion?
I love all kinds of music. I like bits of goth and bits of this and bits of that, bits of modern pop music and old pop music and punk and rock and all. There probably isn't a kind of music I don't like. At least some genre. There probably isn't a genre where there isn't at least one track I quite like in it.
Yeah, and you said you do enjoy a little bit of, say, Sisters of Mercy and some of the other classic.
I love Sisters.
And
I get obsessed about songs, and Marianne, I think I played it almost non-stop for probably 10 years. Yeah, it's one of those songs I could probably sing every note.
Yeah, I mean, you've clearly shown you've got some goth tendencies for loving the Hellraiser films, so, you know, there's that credential. So Tommy Biscuits, tell me about it, because you're playing the festival as that, half as you are also providing the PA, you're getting to actually play as well. That's awfully generous of me, isn't it? Yeah, so tell me about Tommy Biscuits. Why the name, and what is the ethos behind that?
It started off back when I lived in Sheffield, and I was actually playing bass for Easy Voodoo, I think you know.
Yeah.
And there was West Street Live had Stars in Your Eyes thing on a Sunday, and they said come along and do cover sets. So me and a mate who went to school with back in London just dreamed up this idea of doing just five random covers of either sort of lounge covers of sort of metal or punk songs, or the opposite, sort of punked up versions of sort of pop songs. And one of the songs I chose was More by Sisters of Mercy. In a fairground attraction kind of style, or as close as I can get to it with my meager guitar skills. And from that, I thought, well, you need a name for the act. And I thought, when I was a kid, Hot Gossip was these sort of the half naked dancers on top of the pops, and Hot Gothic seemed like a natural extension of that, so I chose Hot Gothic. And did bits and pieces, worked the set up. It was mainly terrible. I used to have terrible stage fright, and Hot Gothic was musically awful. And what I found was doing Hot Gothic, doing music that I knew was terrible, that everyone hated, cured my stage fright. I didn't really care anymore. So it was part of my evolution as an artist. And then the change to Tomy Biscuits came. I was at Alice's Wicked Tea Party, which is a festival down in the southwest, probably about 3-ish years ago. I was in the Portaloo quite drunk, and one of the bands on stage announced the next act on the other stage, and it was the Johnny Vistic sound system, and I misheard it in my drunken stupor through the walls as the Tommy Biscuits sound system. I knew it wasn't. It just made me laugh so much. I drunkenly changed it. Yes. I drunkenly changed the name of my Facebook page, and I couldn't change it back, so I was stuck with it.
Oh, that sounds. I mean, that seems a perfect. It was destiny all along, really.
Yeah.
You know, it was obviously meant to happen. So, is Tommy Biscuits only covers done in a different style?
No, I've started actually trying out originals as well. Hot Gothic was just covers. Tommy Biscuits, I've got a lot there. And what happens is I'll try out some originals, and if the band likes them, they'll nick them. So they've nicked. How many? They've nicked two of my best ones at the moment. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I open for the Shangos when we're playing somewhere. I haven't got an opener, and it means I can't do the ones that they're doing later, or we're doing later on.
Yeah. So but, I don't know if I've mentioned in this particular session, shall we say, due to having to start again. I don't know if I've mentioned that you're also in the Papashangos. You're taking the
that's right,
lead in
yeah.
that. And that's the one which sort of the big time success bands, or at least so it seems, shall we say. I just mean it appears to me at least that you are it's decidedly in demand as the Papashangos and have an incredible reputation. I mean, I've heard many things about it being an absolutely incredible live show, and much like me, you've actually injured yourself doing it.
Yeah, last year for our Rebellion was a big deal for us playing there. It was a huge room. Must be, I'm guessing 500 capacity, if not more, and we filled it, which was amazing. But it was 1 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon, and we were really excited about it. We went there early, got set up, just about a sound check, and I've got a habit. It's a big stage, and there's a crowd barrier. And I like to jump in the crowd and engage with people and dance. So I thought I'd just see if I can vault over the crowd barrier or not. Turns out I couldn't. I broke 4 ribs and punctured a lung. This was about 45 minutes before stage time. I didn't know how much damage I'd done at the time. I just sat down for a bit and caught my breath, had a couple of spirits and some painkillers, got into my stage outfit, which was just lingerie and boots. And man, he made it through the gig in agony. And then just kept self-medicating, and I didn't find out how bad it was until I went to the A&E later in the week, and they gave me an X-ray and said, "Yep, 4 ribs, at least 4 ribs, and definitely a punctured lung."
I know. Yeah. Goth City, well, not Goth City as such, but the Black Pilgrimage in 23, I think it was, when it might have been the year after. Anyway, Gwen was here, and I somehow slipped over or something and fell on my nose, and there was blood everywhere, and some said I seemed to possibly lose consciousness for a second or two. I don't know if I did or not, but sort of as I pulled myself up, I thought, well, I know where I am in the song, I can carry on, but everyone's stopping me. I can hear where the song is, I can carry on just because I'm spraying blood everywhere. There's no need to. So yeah, I mean, I probably would have been the same if people hadn't stopped me, and maybe they should have done too. So what's always been your musical ethos with the Papashangos then? What drives you in that? I know we're sort of Tommy Biscuits here, but I feel it's good to sort of get an idea of where it all comes from.
Yeah, sure. If I was to give you the high concert, the elevator pitch, have you ever seen Top Secret, the Val Kilmer?
I haven't. I really should have done. I've heard many great things about it.
Yeah, but, it's amazing. It was the Zucker Brothers' next film after Airplane, and it flopped really badly. But I watched it as a kid on VHS. I'd taken a load of mushrooms and I just watched it. Laughed so much it hurt, and then I watched it about 4 more times stay up all night just watching it on repeat, and it's imprinted on my head. And there's one scene in that. I don't want to give you the full explanation, but it's a pastiche of Cold War thrillers mixed with an Elvis Presley film, with Kilmer playing the Presley role, and he does a version of oh god, what's it called? It's a rock and roll song you'd recognise. What Bob Blue Bob Block Band doing that one? I don't think what it's called. Maybe it's called that. In like a ballroom full of ballrooms of Nazis and people in ball gowns, and he just runs amok. In fact, it's jumps on the tables and runs along the piano and does all this crazy dancing. He's a very good dancer. I don't think he did the singing. It's just the whole scene is fantastic, and it was that crossed with Iggy Pop. Basically, was the birth of who I become on stage. And those two things, if you watch either of those two, if you watch Iggy Pop, particularly when he was younger, not so much now maybe, and that scene from Top Secret, then you'll see exactly why I do what I do.
Yeah, I know. I know. There's sort of. While I've not seen that film, I can totally get that, like, where that sort of idea comes from. So, where is Papashangos involved from musically, and has that act sort of evolved over time, and has sort of ideas of doing music changed at all with it? I joined them. I guess it'd be 11 years ago. When I moved to Bolton, I used to live in Sheffield. Moved to Bolton, I was looking for a new band, and they were advertising for a singer, so I joined. And they'd actually been there were two cousins, Will and Des, who were big fans of Oasis. In the late 90s, they went to an Oasis gig, came out and said, well, we need to do something like that. And they were just basically a garage rock two-piece that sounded a bit like Oasis for 15 odd years. And eventually I recruited some other musicians, and we turned into a punk band. It just kind of evolved within a few months into what we are now. And we've been to various lineup changes, but it's just getting faster and tighter and funnier every time, I think. Yeah,
yes.
I heard something about, I think it was Jason of Sid 31 sort of suggesting you dancing in hot pants, and like your stage show would be something like hot pants and dildos on your head or something along those lines. I mean, I can sort of appreciate that, as I sort of enjoy in certain sets sort of stripping down to gold sparkle panties, which my girlfriend seems to like very much. So has Rebellion been the sort of best reception you've had, or is it generally? I mean, I know again it's going on about Papashangos, we should probably talk about Tomy Biscuits some more, but I think it's interesting finding out what else you're up to. Are you noticing sort of that it's getting more in demand, so to speak, more people turning up to gigs and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. And we're playing we get fewer examples of where we played to the bar staff and the sound tech and that one drunk bloke who's not left yet, which we've done a lot of, I'm sure. The DIY scene is like that. Sometimes you just play to the bar staff and they're sick of hearing your crap. They're sick of my crap. Because I give the same performance regardless of who's watching. But Rebellion was great, biggest ever crowd we've had. We've played other gigs of various sizes. What we generally find, and they also, ever since I've been in the band, we go down really well at social clubs with a mixed audience who aren't looking for punk audiences, who are punk spiked hair and leather and studded belts and boots, often don't get us, or they're puzzled that we're not what they want. We played for Conflict a few years ago. It was my birthday, and I'd asked the promoter could we open because it's Conflict. He said, yeah, it'd be great, yeah, come along. And we played. Half the audience were like that, just stood there like it's just they didn't get us. But when we played, I think the same year, someone I know in, where was it, Burnley, someone they knew had died, and his daughter wanted to put on like a special commemoration night for her dad, and she wanted a punk band because he liked punk. And so this promoter said, oh, Papashangos, they'll do it, they're a good laugh. We turned up, it was just this big, huge social club full of people, all kinds of ages, and they listened to some cover bands. Next door there was a bloke doing Tom Jones covers to a karaoke machine. And it was like Pie and Peas, and and they weren't looking for a punk band. It was just she wanted a punk band on. It was all family and friends, and they absolutely went mad. We still use some of the videos from that, of people just loving what we were doing, because it's not Discharge and it's not GBH. It's just it's fun.
I know I've often sort of moaned a bit about in the live scene there's perhaps a bit too many bands that are just bands on the stage, and and sometimes I just think, okay, yeah, there's bands and they can play very well and everything, but I don't just want the record recreating on stage. I want a performance. I want to connect with the artist, and I assume, based on what I've sort of heard and that sort of thing, that you're pretty much of that same sort of thing. You put on a show, make an experience to be live. Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know why I like doing it, because outside of it, I'm fairly shy with a bit of social anxiety. Particularly after, I'm always wiped out after a gig, and I don't want to talk to people. And it's unavoidable because I've been running around in the audience in lingerie for half hour or whatever. Yeah. So they assume I'm this outgoing, yeah, let's go and chat to Lowell. And it's just, I want everyone to leave me alone so I can go and just decompress. It's a weird thing, but I'm not like that normally. People at work or people who don't know that I'm doing that, when they find out, they're often really surprised. And it's yin and yang, I suppose.
With me, it's I'm perfectly sociable if people talk to me first. I just struggle with the sort of, if you like, social anxiety, so to speak, of interrupting other people, so to speak. Anyone who's watched my interviews before probably know perfectly well, but I just struggle with making first contact with people. But anyway, yeah, so what subjects do the Papashangos like to sing about?
It's some of the songs are still the ones that Will and Des wrote. Unfortunately, Des died a few years ago. Had a heart attack. Our best song is the Poncho song, which is, we all love the Mighty Boosh. And I think the first episode, when they're in the zoo, it ends with Noel Fielding's character giving the other one a poncho and saying, because he's depressed. So he's put on the poncho and we'll do some dancing, because it's impossible to be depressed in a poncho. And that sparked a whole song in Des's head, which he wrote. And it's our best song. We do it, we play it, and we throw these cheap ponchos I bought off Team U into the audience. We've got about sort of 20 of them now. And the audience puts them on and dances in ponchos. And I go down and dance with them and bang a tambourine and sing the song. Yeah. I forgot what the question was, sorry.
It's what do you sing about?
Right, okay, yeah. So it kind of varies. I mean, there's the Poncho song, which is just about being happy in a poncho. Or I've written songs. I saw it was probably a YouTube video a few years ago that was talking about the American cult of ex-masturbators, which is this evangelical thing where they encourage kids to say, I'm an ex-masturbator, and say some prayers and wear a ring or a t-shirt. So I wrote a song called Ex-Masturbator, and that's the one where I wear the dildo on my head and throw bananas at the audience. John, let the cat out. It's 2 seconds. Go on. Oh, if I don't like Marty Marks. Little sod. Yeah, so that's where that one came from. There's one that's about... there's a bloke I know who's locally called Dave, and he has the most unfortunate life sometimes, and his Facebook posts are golden. He wrote one a couple of years ago. Can I swear on this, by the way? Is that okay?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's in the grown-ups. Right, I say that.
Excellent.
But, the grown-ups like me who like to play dress-up.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, that includes me. So
we're all just children, really playing pretend. That's what it's all about.
So Dave posted his boss had put him through some awful crap. He works in the warehouse. His boss just screwed him over one day. He told like 2 lines about the story. My boss is a cunt, in capitals. And it's like, I've got a song straight away. The first verse is just that post, and then the chorus is my boss is a cunt, and then the second verse is me thinking about when I was a kid working in a warehouse and got treated like shit. So, and that is again one of our most popular songs because it's so simple.
Yeah, people can relate to it.
People who've never heard it can sing along with it after the first chorus because it's so easy.
Yeah.
So it's just whatever pops in people's heads. There's one of the old ones we do is called PAYU, and it's when Will, the bassist, first got his first real job and didn't like paying tax. He wrote a song called PAYU, which is sort of a rip-off of the Beatles' Tax Man, but a lot faster.
So let's cover some sort of, I guess you could say, personality type stuff insofar as who makes you. I mean, you're definitely a very political person, which is a very good thing, and that is, I mean, I think you care quite clearly about the same sorts of things I do, and I am doing this event in support of trans people because of how much demonization I feel they've had. And what have you, I really, if you'd like to maybe add something about that, your sort of feelings on the matter, so to speak.
I've been from almost the other side of the aisle to where I am now. I think back on things, where I was a kid, where I would have sworn blind I wasn't racist, I wasn't homophobic, wasn't transphobic, it wasn't even a word back then, in the 80s. And I look back at some of the things I did and said, and yeah, I absolutely was. I'd have hated myself. If we met now, 45 years apart, we wouldn't get on. Because Lawrence then was a very different person. And Lawrence, since then, has learned a lot by working with diverse people and meeting diverse people and just evolving. And I'm sort of passionate about helping other people there. And sometimes I get really angry as well when people don't get there quick enough, which isn't always the most helpful way to deal with things. And I can sort of understand how people can fall into that sort of trap of ignorance and thinking other people are different and aren't equal, shouldn't be necessarily. I don't know. It's horrible to think I was there once, just a few decades ago. I'm passionate about no one being there if possible.
Yeah.
So things like this are fantastic. Yeah, let's raise the profile. I think
I mean,
all the things people say about pride, like, oh, why do they have to stick it in everyone's face? I'd said that when I was a kid, and why did I say that?
Yeah,
stick it in everyone's face.
Yeah,
get them used to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just with the rise of reform, I feel it's more important than ever to try and make sure the message is spread that, I mean, we've had Love Music, Hate Racism in Doncaster, and that kind of inspired me to maybe do this. I mean, I know it's not a totally trans sort of showcase or anything, it's just that's where I wanted to show some support. And yes, I would like to do a sort of trans showcase gig as well, but it's okay, is it not, so to speak, to say that you want your special gig to help a particular cause, even if it isn't directly that cause, so to speak?
Yeah, of course. We've done pride gigs, and at the time we were doing that, there was nobody who was on the LGBT. Well, nobody was openly. No one was out when we did those gigs. We just did them because we wanted to do them. We arranged them, and there were some LGBT community bands on the lineup, and some who weren't. They just wanted to support the cause and raise money for it. Yeah, absolutely.
It's very important to try and do what we can, I think, to try and combat the ignorance that seems to be going around a lot now. So let's get back to Tomy Biscuits. We've only got about 5 minutes, well, just under 5 minutes left of Zoom call time. So what can people expect from the Tomy Biscuits performance? Will it be as wild and crazy as a Papashangos gig?
I'm trying to get there. I've always wanted to play guitar and sing, and I've tried it with the band, and they keep banning me from doing it. So, Tomy Biscuits is my side project. So I play guitar really badly. I taught myself, and I was a terrible teacher. And I've realised just recently, because I taught myself to play so badly, I can't learn anymore. I'm stuck with what I taught myself 40 years ago. So I'm making the best of that. But then again, most of the Papashangos songs are written by me using my rubbish chords, and I hand them over to the band, and they turn them into what they are. And half of the set probably I do will be originals that the band haven't picked up or maybe don't want or don't fit the band, and half of it will be covers like More.
Yeah, I have heard More, and I do hope very much we will get that. I mean, obviously, being as supposedly there's going to be a goth audience anyway, we should absolutely cater them and give them a bit of Sister Mercy.
If I can make it work, I did have a cover of Requiem by Killing Joke that was really upbeat, and I need to go back and revisit it because there's some things I want to change about it. If I can get it sorted the tune, I'd love to do that too. And there's a Stockake and a Walkman cover I do, which I think is really dark. It's You Spin Me Right Round Like a Record Baby. You listen to the lyric, it's horrific. It's like a stalker anthem. So yeah, it'll be a mixture of covers and originals.
I mean, I know you are, obviously, as we've sort of obviously already covered, we know you're a performer, so we know we'll... I mean, I think I might have seen you briefly do a bit of hot gothic something like 10-15 years ago, something like that.
Would have been a lot more shouty back then because I didn't have a guitar.
But I'm very much looking forward to it. And again, I say thank you so much for the assistance with the PA system. So anything else you think you might need to add quickly before we finish things off? Anything I've missed? No,
just to anyone listening to this, get to this weekend. It sounds absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
some great bands on. Just do it. It'll be a laugh.
And
Plus, I'm not from Doncaster. I lived in Sheffield for a long time. I had family in Doncaster, so it'd be like coming home a little bit. I lived there for like 15 years, I think. So almost as long as I've lived anywhere.
Wow, no wonder you've left there, eh? So greatly looking forward to having you along, because I'm sure it will be quite the experience, and I'm looking forward to finding out what different treatments the covers you've done. And also we need to mention how amazing and wonderful cats are, of course.
We've got 7 and do you know about brainworms? You know about the brainworms?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure the whole family's pretty sure we've all got brainworms, because the cats rule. If you sat on the sofa and you got a cat on you, then you can't move. You're incapacitated, and someone else has to do whatever.
We live to serve. That is our role in life. Anyway, thank you so much for everything, and
thank you.
Greatly look forward to having you along on the 21st of June. You'll be performing, and 20th of June, obviously, you bring your PA system, which. Very, very good. So hopefully I've done a decent enough interview with you, and it's been lovely to talk to you and see one of your cats as well. So thanks.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's been great.
Thanks a lot, and I will see you in June. All right. Bye for now then.
See you then. Cheers. Bye. See ya.
That was a bit of Tomy Biscuits for you, interviewed Lawrence there. We'll get on, and we'll also have a bit more of what is coming along on the Sunday. We've got lots and lots happening. As I say, 2 days celebrating both my 50th birthday, the 10-year anniversary of Night Shift Goth events, and supporting trans people, because I feel it's absolutely vital that we fight against this horrific transphobia that is happening now. I'm just so sick and disgusted by the likes of Rowling and Linehan, these people who just seek to hate for some strange reason, and it just... And having a reform council in Doncaster has rather annoyed me, so I thought, with also having the Love Music Hate Racism events here, that inspired me, that I thought we'll get on and do something positive in the world. So let's have a bit of Sid 31 with, I think we'll have Machine Ready here. So that was Sid 31, Machine Ready, and let's get on. We've got Cadence Noir coming along on that day as well, so let's have them. They're just terrific.
Now,
hell, you're still alive! I want to see you guys moving, alright?
So that's Cadence Noir. They'll be performing as their full band for me the first time. They did play my festival in Sheffield last year, but only as a sort of acoustic duo kind of thing, which was still fabulous, but it's great to have the full band anyway. What else we got? We've John Merrick's Remains, of course, so let's have a bit of their music. Let's have Leatherface, their classic track.
You just make the journey to hell.
John Merrick's Remains. You've been wonderful. Thank you.
So that was Leatherface, and let's have a bit of Jack No, who is significantly involved in the Doncaster scene and the electronic scene and punk, and with electro punk with a very, very political edge. Fantastic stuff. Have them here.
We are
So yeah, as I say, we've got loads more. Check the poster, which I'll pop up here, and you can see we've got loads of stuff happening on 2 days in Doncaster. Doncaster's first goth festival, perhaps so. It's kind of goth with a touch of punk as well, I guess you could say. And hopefully we'll raise some money for mermaids and fight against all the transphobia that's happening these days. So yeah, until then, let's have a little bit from what will be happening the previous day. Let's have a little bit of Byrronic 6 in Exile to finish off. Alright, that's it for now. Bye for now, everyone.
my own soul. God keep me, if only for the sake of